Howdy gang, how is it going? Apologies about not being able to post in a while. I had to go back home. Um, Stuff going on, people's birthdays, other stuff which I'm not going to get into. Um, I'm going to Italy on Thursday. I'm recording this. It's Tuesday today. I'm going to Italy on Thursday for 5 days. So I'm probably just going to be posting. Well, I'm going to try and record as much as I can in the next 2 days, basically. But just letting everyone know that it's not really going to be very regular posting, probably until like at least after Christmas. I will, however, be able to see some beautiful, beautiful short Italian number plates with blue strips at the end, which is what I am. Don't tell my girlfriend, who has bought me this lovely, lovely holiday. But the thing I'm most keen for is to see number plates in Italy. So, yep. Absolutely cooked. Haven't really been playing. So this is just waffling. Haven't really been playing competitive. We are, it doesn't really say, 1532 elo. Don't really want to be playing competitive at the minute because I haven't really been able to play massively, and I'm at a level right now where I've got to play loads and loads and loads. Do feel free to just skip this, by the way. But waffling. But basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to play some unranked, give me a chance to do some practicing, and I will talk everyone through and explain my guesses, because I think I'm at a pretty decent level right now. I've got the confidence where I should be able to do that. If it's going to be majoritively speaking vibes-based guesses, because there are people who know way more about metas and smudges and cars and stuff like that, and I do know some, so I will point those out, but what I'm mainly going to be talking about is, the landscape, the vibes, how I sort of, as a no-move NMPZ player, how I guess those sort of things. If there is any sort of, if I get a rush around, I'm probably just going to edit it out, because I know jack shit about that. Well, that was nice and quick, so we'll get straight into it. Okay, we have a game. I did just play a game then, but it was terrible. So, So we're in the Southern Hemisphere, so obviously, first things up, you check which hemisphere you're in. With the landscape, we're going to be Australia. The only other choice here really is South Africa, but, car doesn't really fit, and don't really know how to explain it. It's just a lot of this is stuff you just pick up. I've had about 10,000 games here, and dirt color, the kinds of roads, this kind of this off-road. This is very, very outbacky, so it's not overly red, so it shouldn't be WA. I'm thinking South Australia or this bit of Queensland are the bits that I think of when I get, super, super outbacky like this. Hopefully it is Australia, because I just spent the one I just did then, I spent ages talking about Romania around. That was Hungary. So, hopefully I don't balls it up. But I think, by the remoteness, the dirt road as well, certainly this sort of area here, and then it sort of gets into whereabouts, which I'm not there yet. It's a very, very, I can know the sort of general region, but yeah. And it was, so not bad. So that's how it's flat, it's desert-y, it's Southern Hemisphere, so it's not going to be South Africa. Well, the only other choice is South Africa. Round like this, we have got this red dirt, so first level up, I just think Thailand, sort of you do get kind of a lot of coverage like this, just on a sort of back road in the middle of some trees in Thailand, and so again, nearly 10,000 games, you just immediately pick that up from seeing it. But red dirt is a big one for Thailand or Cambodia, and this is Mongolia. Super, super flat. We have no slats in the whatever they are, handlebars on the car, so I'm thinking very, very far east, and then what you do, you put it north, line up a road. I'm thinking one of these ones over here. Not especially, I don't really know my coverage that much, but I know it better than I used to. And sort of green. So You can pick it up a lot by just looking at the map. The map never lies, or very rarely lies. So obviously this is the deserty bit. Mountainous. Yeah, more mountainous. And then you got sort of like rolling flat hills. And yeah, so in a country like Mongolia, when there's not that many roads, you should really try and line something up. Because, well, if it's going that way, it's obviously not going to be this, is it? I don't even know if that has coverage, but it's obviously not going to be that one. So yeah, the map never lies. The road is always going the way it should. So yeah, on countries which you know, like Kazakhstan, Mongolia, where there's very, very few roads, it really does pay to yeah, line something up. And it was further down, but yeah, that whole bit of that country does look like that. But then you get to, okay, that road wasn't even mapped, so fair enough. Right, we've got, this is a bit of a tricky one, but we've got lots of coconut palms. So the minute I see coconut palms, I mean, we're obviously in Southeast Asia, because one of the coverage, I mean, again, a lot of sort of dirt-ish back roads. Again, I don't really know the car, but I mean, Indonesia and Philippines are pretty horrible to region guess. The way the palms align in the country don't really make sense. I mean, a lot of countries which sort of cross the equator or are quite big, you can sort of tell by how close they are to the equator by where the palms are and stuff. But for me, Indonesia and Philippines don't really make sense. But saying that, when I got lots of coconut palms or thin palms, I don't really know the names of them. I just go, are they thick or are they thin? Thick ones over here, which are the oil palms. The thin ones, I tend to think are Sulawesi and, well, certainly south of Cebu. Now, yeah, this one I'm not really overly sure. But, I mean, you've got a tropical landscape, so you know you should be in Southeast Asia here. I mean, without the palms, I could maybe, you know, you can maybe have a 50-50 with South America, but you're never getting this amount of coconut palms. Or if you do, sue me, you know, just write to me and be like, you've made me lose like 20 ELO or whatever. But yeah, sort of very built up jungly as well. Honestly, I'm clueless here. I might actually just pop a Sulawesi on. And yeah, it was North Sulawesi, so that's actually nice getting the country there. Again, sort of, yeah, more jungly coverage. I do think more Indo rather than Philippines. We got India. I mean, it's one of the easiest countries to recognize in the world because, well, you get shit cam. So if you see shit cam without any follow car following you, because I mean, you get it in Nigeria, you get it in Ecuador, just got it a bit in Europe now. It's spotted around everywhere, but I mean, yeah, this is India. I mean, but saying that, because it's really, really poor quality on rains like this, honestly, I mean, I think we're more north, but stuff like this, I just click middle, and I think most people would as well. Yeah, I know it's 1.5 damage. I don't want to lose too many points. I can region guess parts of India that I'm like, you know, stand out to me. I mean, you can have language in there as well. This is, I mean, just pretty standard. They're doing exactly the same. And I've played Kyoz before. They're in the same club as me. They're pretty decent player, and they're doing exactly the same as me. So, vindication. You should just middle click on rails like that, honestly. This one is, we're driving right. We are sort of these flat top buildings. Very, very Senegalese. Also trust the people. You know, if you see black people, basically, majority black people, chances are you're going to be in Africa. We've got truck blur. It's very, very flat, sort of very sandy. Yeah, and as for region guessing Senegal, it's another one which you can sort of line up a gradient. You can sort of line up roads with this. Honestly, I'm just clicking close to T's. It's a smallish country, so you shouldn't lose too much. If it was on higher, then maybe I'd do something. But again, it doesn't really stand out to me that much. So, on rounds which... You shouldn't try and kid yourself, really. You know? On rounds which are pretty nondescript and don't really have much going for them, you should always just click middle. You know? So, like, a couple of times I've had Vietnam where I'm like, oh, is it north or is it south? And you just click middle. We have what I assume is Namibia, although we have a big hill there. Actually, I am pretty bad at telling Namibia and South Africa apart now because both have a truck. Both can look quite similar, but I think I'm going more north. 2024 again. There's quite a lot of small camp stuff that's been released and whatnot, but again, another country where this will be so embarrassing if it is actually bizarre. But we've got a bit of a ridge, so we are a bit hilly where I'm looking, and it's green. So the green bits in Namibia are again where it looks like it is on the map. It was further north, so good guess from them there. But yeah, I mean I was covering South Africa in case it was. I did actually know it was Namibia. But yeah, that's sort of... I'll go back and I'll talk you through that one afterwards because might be a bit rough for some people that don't know. This one, got Georgian Bluffs side road. We've got a front plate. It feels... I feel like that is a Canadian sort of thingy. With a front plate. So it goes... Front plate, no front plate, no front plate, front plate, and then no front plate, and then after 2019. Look it up yourself. That's easy to... It's easier if you just look at the map and then you can figure it out. But we've got sort of like rolling, hilly, colder looking trees. So sort of like, you know, your spindly ferns and whatnot. You can get some southern pines and stuff down south, but this definitely isn't, you know. Again, it's sort of stuff that you just pick up after playing. What looks cold, what looks warmer. Again, obviously, the closer you get to the equator, the more warmer it's going to look. So this should be more north. And again, with a front plate, I'd probably put us in Ontario. I mean, we do have a double yellow, which is a bit dumb for going Canada because it's usually more a American thing, but... There it was, Ontario. We didn't quite line up a road, but I was nattering. But yeah, the vibes are alright. But again, that colder looking landscape, I will go back in and talk about it more. This one looks very, very Balkan. Sort of old, shitty Soviet cars. Apologies to anybody from the Balkans or who has made these cars, but we're sort of warmer. You can tell by the trees, sort of that Mediterranean landscape. Tiled roofs, very, very common. Serbia, Macedonia, Bulgaria. We do got a blue strip on the car. Poles are wooden, so I'd probably put us into Bulgaria, actually. Yeah, and then whereabouts in Bulgaria? It sort of feels a bit Greek. If you look over here, you can see the sort of like exposed rock. So sort of like... Yeah, when the hills look sort of browny with not as much vegetation on because it's hotter. Yeah, I'd love to see if that was what language that was, because again, Cyrillic and language like that help. But when you play no move, it does tend to... Well, you don't have as much to work with, which I think is actually very, very helpful because it means that you just... Yeah, you don't rely as much on language. Again, these sort of tall, thin... Maybe they're called poplars. Again, I don't know as much of the official stuff as I should. I just know by sight, muscle memory. I'm going somewhere close to the Greek border in Bulgaria. It might be like... We did have no antenna, so it might be Serbia. A blue strip on there. I just realised I'm just talking here. And it's going to be information overload, but no car, so yeah. And it was actually... Macedonia. Oops. But yeah, the vibes were right. My metas aren't as good, but my vibes are right. So, okay, we've got Norway. So, the classic long... Wait. I think that's just the... Yeah, it is. Sometimes the depth perception of them makes them look shorter, but if you look at the ones close to us, they are, which, you know, you could confuse for Sweden. If you look at them, they look very Swedish in the distance, but always look at the ones closest to you, and these are in fact long, which will mean that we are in Norway, which is not good for me talking about how to region guess, because it's an absolutely diabolical country to region guess. We could be quite far north, we've got big mountains, but yeah, I mean, on this, again, I'd probably just click near Trondheim, and if they do a better guess than me, then fair enough. When we have this sort of like exposed rock on the side of the road, I do tend to think that's a bit more southern, so maybe I'll go just near Trondheim. And yeah, with the sort of lakes, the fjords, I mean, it doesn't really make much difference up here because it gets really thin, but certainly in the south, you know, you're going to be closer to the coast. So yeah, I'm leaving it near Trondheim. Again, on some rounds they will be more sort of like specific, and we'll be able to get that, but I don't know how many times I've been like, yeah, this is definitely max safe Norway, and it's just been, you know, Nordcat pretty much. And yeah, wise choice to click middle. If I'd gone a bit further up where I originally was, probably would have got the win there, but again, it's unranked, so it doesn't really matter. And this, we have a orange sign there. That's a Polish bollard. Yeah. So orange signs, or yellow in your sign, is Sweden, Finland, Poland, bit of Russia. Hopefully I haven't forgotten anything, but yeah, with that red sign, red bollard there. Sort of very, yeah, rolling, sort of slightly flat, hilly landscape. It's like a cross between sort of Western architecture and Eastern architecture. As for a region guess, clueless. Was there something over here? But yeah, you can see very sort of like cold looking trees, thinner looking trees as well. That's how you can kind of tell you're in north. If you know, if there's no metas about, it's how you can kind of tell you're in more northern Europe. Yeah. Birches and whatnot. I'm leaving it. I mean, if I was really being fancy, I'd probably like guess it northeast perhaps, but I'll go for it. Goated. That's actually sick. Oh, there's no way I would have done that in a ranked, because I would have just clicked middle. But it felt a little sort of... You can sort of... Like, does it feel like other countries? So that sort of felt a bit like hilly Lithuania. Which... Yeah, it felt... The architecture and everything felt more sort of like Eastern and sort of Baltic, more Russian almost. Sort of these houses, these poles here. If you get what I mean. But again, it's just sort of stuff you pick up from. Kind of hard to explain, but yeah, that's that round, which is actually a very nice guess. We'll talk you through. Here, I mean, I talked a fair bit about this, but yeah, the mountains were a bit bigger, it was a bit colder, and you sort of just pick up the sheerness of how each sort of set of mountains looks in each place. Which again is kind of hard to talk about, but just play the countries over and over again, and you will pick it up. But yeah, sort of, I don't know, it felt a bit more north, a bit more colder, but it didn't feel too far north. Yeah, I mean, I got the wrong country on this, but it was in the Balkans. I mean, someone can tell you more about North Macedonian metas. Again, that kind of stuff bores me. And I know I really should, because if that's on higher multis, then it makes loads of difference, but most of the time I can get away with it, with just knowing the general vicinity. Yeah, here, I mean, the rule is, if you see double yellow, you go America, and if you see single yellow, you go Canada. But it's more that there aren't single yellow, or as much single yellow in America, rather than the other way round. So yeah, you can't really rule out. We've got Canadian sort of junction sign there. This, again, to do with the metas, I'm not 100% sure, so I'm just going to talk about the vibes. And so this sandiness by the side, again, everything here is telling me that it's colder and it's more northern. And that's, you just pick that up from the vegetation again. Thin trees here. Yeah, just... If you live in a sort of cold part of the world, which I do, have a look around and be like, do these trees sort of look like the ones we'd get back here, you know? If they feel different to you, then go for a warmer place. That's just sort of what I've picked up. But yeah. And then, yeah, with the front plate, again, this is sort of like more spread out here. There's a fact about how, like, whatever percentage of Canada's population live here. So this isn't as spread out. It's not as, you know, you can feel it's more built up area. So you're going to be in one of the bigger population areas, really, you know. So in and around here, and then that's sort of, you rule out Quebec because of the plate. But again, it's a lot of information and it's a lot to take in, and it does, you just pick it up over and over and over again. Namibia, again, it's one of those countries where I'm just like, there's so many countries that I need to learn, and I know general gist, but yeah, at the level that I'm at, you sort of like, in certain countries like Namibia, you need to like know your roads, which, yeah, it's going to take some time. But we've got the blur, we've got the classic South African, Botswana, Namibian yellow road lines on the outside. This sort of pavement or a road, sort of very Texan. So sort of, yeah, different shades of grey in it. Very, very, very sort of Namibian. So that's because it actually can somewhat be a 50-50 now with the sort of like truck small cam stuff in South Africa. For an idiot like me, that is. But then whereabouts in Namibia, because it's a pretty big country, but most of this is desert. So most of this doesn't look like, well, none of it really looks like this. So you see it's sort of green, and you've got plants, you've got vegetation, you've got life. You're going to be further north outside the desert bit, and then hilly bit, I mean, that must be where the hills are. I sort of found one kind of hill there. Again, when you're trying to region guess, look at your map, look for where those hills are. Always look, if you've got water next to you, if you've got water east, don't for the love of God guess the middle of the country. Even if it's the wrong country, guess a country with water to the east of you. You know, the map never lies. But yeah, not much. I mean, I'm not a very good Namibia player, so again, I'll let someone more talk about it. Senegal, there's not really much that needs to be said about this. Yeah, I talked through that in the when I was playing. Again, that India. It is, again, it's wise to just click middle. This I was very happy with, actually getting to OSC on this. Yeah, you get. So, like, you do get different kind of palms dotted around everywhere. It tends not to be as much on Kalimantan. I do think that's just sort of, it feels more just like built up jungle. But again, it can catch you out, so do not. It just doesn't make sense as a country. But my main rule is not so many palms down here. Oil palms here, so, you know, the big sort of like massive ones. And then thin palms over here. It doesn't work a lot of the time, but I feel like if you have a rule and stick to it, you know, most of the time it does make sense. But yeah, there's by all means, if you get an oil plantation over here or whatever, it's not my fault at all. But yeah, in terms of the coverage, so yeah, you just pick up like what has majority main roads, what the sort of, yeah, where the Google car's been. So, I mean, GG to the guy that took the Google car here. He was probably on a right fucking mission. But yeah, I also think over here, is sort of more built up, more like civilization-y. And then obviously this is the most populated island, so a lot of that is yeah, more standard coverage. So yeah, it makes sense. But again, this is you get like 30 seconds here and you got to think about all of this in order to make a guess. So hopefully some of this goes in for you. Yeah, that Mongolia, I mean, there's people out there that know every single road in Mongolia, and they're like, dude, this is this. But that one didn't even show up on the map, so I'm fine with that. I found one that sort of lined up. My opponent did as well. Again, they're a good player. Thailand, I will talk about this one a bit as well. Yeah, sort of with the, I mean, you see the red dirt. So obviously, yeah, you think Thailand's countries the red dirt. I mean, the African countries, yeah, Brazil and Thailand, really. They do look pretty different, but you can, I mean, some rounds you can get them caught up, but these thin trees, this is very, very tight, and then again you pick up the sort of where the coverage has been. A lot of it is knowing that, and then knowing what kind of coverage is where. Do they just do main roads? Do they do these off roads? Do they do roads in the middle of, you know, whatever this is? So yeah, you learn that. You learn. You just learn. So just my main advice is watch me, because I will be doing these more often. But also just hammer. Doesn't matter what you do with playing, duels, solo stuff. Just play and play and play. And that's the best substitute, because there's so much that's to go in that if you try purposely to be like, right, this is this, this is this, this is this, you're not gonna, well, in my opinion, you're not gonna get it. It's more just muscle memory, really, and just picking things up over time. But yeah, sort of thin looking trees. I mean, it feels kind of, it's not overly tropical. So basically the main way is it's dry and flat here. It's a bit more sort of temperate, a bit more green here, hilly up here, and then you've got your palms and you've got your sort of like tropical landscape down here. And then as for this Australia, I mean, there's not much to say. It's a big red bowl of dirt. It's horrible to guess, but slowly getting there. It's sort of things like just picking up like, sort of sounds like to my own whole bit, subtle differences in the colour of the dirt and the type of like desolate nonsense that you're looking at. And then yeah, just learning what each bit of the outback looks like is a nightmare. But slowly getting there. So yeah, the sort of brownish orangey dirt is in and around here. Again, it gets redder, but it's a nightmare, and just play Australia yourself and find out just how horrible a country it is to region guess. How long have I been talking there? A while. I've probably got time for another. Yeah, we'll see how the next one goes. Okay, we're doing I just did an NPZ one there that sucks because it turns out I do not know anything about NPZ. No, I did alright, but I can't really. It's more just like vibes and stuff that I can't really explain. But 2024, we're sort of like shit cam. These houses here feel a bit more Nepalese, and yeah, it was. So yeah, you do get 2024 and 2025 in India as well, but majority speaking, all of Nepal is 24, 2025. So yeah, this is Botswana. Because we've got, well, it's dry, it's deserty. I mean, unless it's northern South Africa, but I don't think it is. Dry, deserty, we've got the road lines. We've got a decent amount of vegetation. So I feel like there's more vegetation closer to Gaborone. Struggle with figuring out the compass when it's NMPZ, but yeah, sort of. Here's more sort of sandy. So again, you pick up like dirt colour and what kind of dirt it is and stuff. But yeah, more sandy dirt, more sort of gravelly dirt. This one, oh thank God we're playing. Thank God we're playing No move. Saying that though, I do not know my chevrons. Please forgive me for this one. We'll just move the heck on. Are we in Romania? This is where someone in the comments can coach me. Yeah, we are. I did know my chevrons. Again, I've got a bit of a dicky memory when it comes to some of the metas, but I'll talk about through afterwards. This one is right. Watch, we've got coast all the way there. We've got Norwegian road lines. This one. So obviously, I'm guessing on the west coast. So we know we're in Sweden, Norway anyway, but most of it is just west coast. So we're super remote. These sort of like weirdly shaped mountains, you know, the really, really craggy ones, I think that's the word, are what I associate with up here. And I'd maybe even go like on an island or like on one of these bits. When you see sort of like just mental, like what was God doing when he decided to create these sort of stuff. It could very much just be completely wrong, but again, you sort of like, you look at the settlements, you go, this is remote, you know, this is, you understand the country, so most of the civilization again is in the south of it. And the further you get to the north, that's where, yeah, the further you get away from civilization. So I'll actually, you know what, I'll pop somewhere on like here or something. And yeah, it was one of them. So yeah, very, very sort of like, you don't get that in any meta publication, do you? But it explains it well, does it not? We've got another Norway, right? And this should be more south, because we've got, wait, yeah. So I'll just go somewhere near Oslo. Okay, yeah, the country does not make sense. It does not make sense, because that was the most south-looking round. I cannot explain that. I cannot for the life of me explain that, because that was the most south, sort of like Sweden-looking round of all time. This is southern Sweden, because now this is this is actually a top tip. Exposed rock and sort of like rock walls and rock fences. Watch this be wrong now. Watch this be wrong. But exposed rock and yeah, sort of like rocks popping out from the ground. I mean, we know we're in Sweden because we've got, again, the thinner trees. It's flat. It looks very cold. Scandinavian architecture. So sort of like these kind of houses, reds, blues. Really, really quite beautiful. Also got Range Rover. So Sweden's quite a rich country. But this is how I discern we're in the south. Okay, yeah, but you get them in the south of Finland as well. You get them in the south of Finland as well, I swear. That was a hard one. I'll go back and talk about it afterwards. I think I think this is Javan pavement. I think you get this kind of road on Java. Yeah, you do. I was right on that one. I'll talk about it afterwards. God damn it, man. That was good. That was actually good. We've got 2025 truck blur. We're in Costa Rica. It's tropical. Yeah, I mean, this is one. I mean, NMPZ, it could be a bit difficult, but again, you'd still have the blur. But 2025, truck's blurred out. Very, very tropical looking. I've been to Costa Rica. This is more flat. This is more hilly. So I'll middle click on. Do you know what? I was gonna say Puerto Rico does also have 2025 truck, and I haven't been able to tell the difference between them yet. So, watch out. Watch out for that one. Maybe that. We're all learning. I did that on purpose to talk about how you will never stop learning, and you learn from your mistakes, and that's the best way you can do it. Did that on purpose. 100% on purpose. We'll move swiftly on. I will not talk about that one. This one though, yeah. So we, I'm not editing it because it was funny, and it shows that I'm human. Not a robot. So yeah, we have front of the car. We are in the southern hemisphere. Again, it's sort of what I was talking about before with the coverage of it being, you do get sort of like a lot of just back roads, a lot of, yeah, not main roads with no real sort of like, you got no poles here to go on, you've got no, I'm just bigging myself up because I got this one right. No poles here to go on, no sort of like metas. The car doesn't particularly tell me that much, but this pavement here, this cobblestone sort of road, very, very Javan. Very, very Javan. So if you see this surrounded by, again, a sort of not too overly screaming at you tropicals. You don't see spamming loads of palms or whatnot, but still pretty, like, you know, it's temperate. It's very, very, I keep using that word temperate. I don't know if it's the right word. It's hot. It's very, very hot looking plants and whatnot. So yeah, you know you're in the southern hemisphere. You should know that you are in Southeast Asia. Again, without the pavement, it could, yeah, it could very well be South America. But yeah, look at this. See that? Java. As for this one, look, my rule is I always click Southern Sweden. I have rules that I abide by. I mean, the polls are Finnish, but I was just trying to big myself up. But the sort of rock walls, you get them here, and you get them also in Estonia. It was going to be one of them. I got it wrong. Again, I'm only human. This, I still, looking at it, I mean, the hills are a bit bigger, but I still always go south on that. You know? Always go south on that. That was nice. The rounds like this scream, you know, and they are very, very much and very easy to get. Rounds like the past one are anywhere in Norway. But yeah, I mean, I talked about it when I was here, but yeah, sort of jagged peaks and sort of stuff like that. Just mental landscape is going to be in and around here. And again, think of the remoteness. Yeah, Romania, I mean, I skipped over this one, but sort of like all white solid road lines. This on the side of the road as well. We've got a mix, really, of sort of like fauna. Mix between sort of like cold and sort of like more warmer. Not quite, you know, the sort of like more Mediterranean, more Aegean. Yeah, more of the Balkans, more warmer, more hotter stuff. Yeah, good mix. Certainly on this level here, Middle Europe is just little bit of everything, and yeah, with the white and red chevrons, and that sign as well. Blue car, off split antenna as well, so antenna over to the side. Very, very Romanian. That was all right. I think I actually did that one NMPZ. I forgot we were doing no move, but you got white car. Okay, because that gives me more to talk about. White car. So South Africa is a lot of it is blue car. White, you do still get some, but yeah, Botswana, Eswatini, and both look pretty dissimilar. Eswatini is very sort of green, very lush, very hilly. Botswana, pretty flat for most of the country. There are few bits that catch you out, but again, yeah, this is more, it feels more South African, you know, if you have a good vibe of what South Africa looks like, guess close to the border when you see it looks like that. If it's sort of like dissimilar to that and the more sandiness of up here, again, more you need to picture where the sort of like remoteness is in the country. So this is the main population center again. So I mean, it's still pretty remote, but it doesn't feel as desolate. It feels like more people want to live here, you know. And then, yeah, we've got a Nepal, which literally just this year came into the game. And we've got good tip for telling northern India as well. I know in the last game I talked about how India is a nightmare to guess, but you see lots and lots of lush, flat rice fields. This plain up here. So that's, if you get around and you're like, yeah, I have no idea, you know, your opponent might just give up because it's India and it's a nightmare to guess. But you see, again, majoritively speaking, you see this kind of landscape here. Guess the north. If you see it's 2024, 2025, guess India. Again, these kind of houses, red brick. Red brick, sort of like this going across here. Very, very sort of Nepalese. And then you guess in the flat bit. I mean, yeah, this is probably one of the most, well, it is actually the most mountainous region in the world. So just don't guess Kathmandu. You know, it's a pretty big country. If you know you're in Nepal, you should be no way guessing Mount Everest. You know, there's a few pockets of flat close to India, so guess one of them, and you should be able to get a decent amount of points. I mean, I embarrassed myself in the end there, but it was always going to happen. I wasn't going to get through a full one without blundering. But I hope that helped. It's a lot of information in one go, but let me know if you want to see more. Let me know if you want me to shut up and say less. Again, it's the first one of those I've done. It's a learning curve. I hope everybody enjoyed. Like and subscribe.